Plant FAQs. Woodwardia Fimbriata, Giant Chain Fern. What is Woodwardia Fimbriata? Hi, I'm Fern, and I'm here to answer your questions about the majestic giant chain fern, also known botanically as Woodwardia Fimbriata. This impressive fern native to the west coast of North America is a showstopper in any garden, boasting dramatic size and intricate details. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting your plant parenthood journey, this FAQ will equip you with everything you need to know about caring for this unique fern. What makes the giant chain fern special? The giant chain fern lives up to its name. Unlike its smaller fern cousins, this one boasts massive fronds reaching up to 3 meters, 10 feet, in length. These fronds are a beautiful shade of apple green and have a distinctive lacy, twice-divided structure. But the real magic lies in the fern's reproductive structures. These appear as short, broad lines on the underside of the leaflets, creating a chain-like pattern, hence the name, giant chain fern. This unique feature adds a touch of elegance and visual intrigue to the plant. Another reason for its popularity is its evergreen nature. Unlike many other ferns, Woodwardia Fimbriata retains its lush green foliage year-round, adding a touch of life to your garden even during colder months. How do I care for my giant chain fern? The giant chain fern thrives in a shady environment, mimicking its natural forest habitat. Aim for dappled sunlight or areas with morning sun and afternoon shade. Direct sunlight can scorch the delicate fronds. Next, provide consistent moisture. The giant chain fern prefers moist but well-drained soil. Regular watering is crucial, especially during hot and dry periods. Mulching around the base of the plant helps retain moisture and regulate soil temperature. When it comes to fertilizing, a balanced, slow-release fertilizer applied once or twice a year during the growing season is sufficient. Avoid over-fertilizing, as this can damage the plant. The giant chain fern is generally pest and disease-resistant. However, keep an eye out for common fern problems like mealybugs and scale. You can treat them with insecticidal soap or neem oil spray. Is the giant chain fern difficult to grow? The giant chain fern is a relatively low-maintenance plant. As long as you provide it with the right conditions, shade, moisture, and well-drained soil, it will thrive. Here are some key things to remember. Light, shade, or dappled sunlight. Water, consistent moisture, well-drained soil. Soil, moist, but well-drained, slightly acidic to neutral pH. Fertilizer, balanced, slow-release fertilizer applied once or twice a year. Pests and diseases, generally resistant, but watch for mealybugs and scale. Can I grow the giant chain fern indoors? While the giant chain fern prefers the outdoors, growing it indoors is possible with some adjustments. Here's what you need to consider. Light. Place it near a north-facing window for indirect light. Humidity. The giant chain fern thrives in humid environments. Use a humidifier or place the pot on a pebble tray filled with water to increase humidity levels around the plant. Temperature. Maintain consistent temperatures between 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 to 21 degrees Celsius. Watering. Water regularly to keep the soil moist but not soggy. Remember, the giant chain fern can grow quite large. Choose a spacious pot that allows for root growth and consider repotting every few years as needed. How does the giant chain fern compare to other ferns? The giant chain fern stands out for its sheer size and dramatic fronds. Compared to other popular ferns like Boston ferns or maidenhair ferns, it's a real statement piece. Here's a quick comparison. Feature giant chain fern, Woodwardia Fimbriata, Boston fern, Nephrolepis exaltata, maidenhair fern, Adiantum spp. Size up to 3 meters, 10 feet. Tall 0.6-1.2 meters, 2 to 4 feet. Tall 0.3-1 meter, 1 to 3 feet. Tall light preference shade or dappled sunlight bright. Indirect light high humidity. Indirect light water needs consistent moisture. Well-drained soil moist soil. Avoid soggy conditions consistently moist soil. High humidity cold tolerance moderately cold tolerant. Down to -5 degrees Celsius. Less cold tolerant not cold tolerant. Where can I buy a giant chain fern? Finding a giant chain fern might require a little searching compared to more common houseplants. Here are some options. Local nurseries. Support your local plant havens. Many nurseries specializing in native plants or ferns might carry Woodwardia Fimbriata. Online retailers. Several online plant stores offer giant chain ferns. Just be sure to choose a reputable seller with experience shipping live plants. Botanical gardens. Some botanical gardens sell propagated plants from their collections. Check with your local botanical garden to see if they offer giant chain ferns. Things to consider when buying. Size. Giant chain ferns can grow quite large. Choose a plant that fits your space and consider its future growth potential. Maturity. Mature ferns tend to be more expensive but will provide a larger statement piece in your garden. Health. Inspect the fern for any signs of damage, pests, or diseases before purchasing. Healthy fronds should be a vibrant green and free of brown spots or wilting. Can I grow a giant chain fern from spores? Growing a giant chain fern from spores is possible, but requires patience and specific conditions. Here's a basic overview. Spore collection. You can collect mature spores from the underside of fertile fronds. Sterile medium. Prepare a sterile growing medium like agar-agar. Controlled environment. Maintain a consistently warm and humid environment for spore germination. Transplanting. Once the fernlings, baby ferns, develop, carefully transplant them to a suitable potting mix. This process requires careful attention to detail and sterile techniques. If you're new to plant propagation, it might be easier to start with a mature giant chain fern. Final thoughts on the giant chain fern. The giant chain fern is a magnificent addition to any garden, offering a touch of drama and elegance. With its low maintenance requirements and year-round appeal, it's a rewarding plant for gardeners of all levels. So, if you're looking for a statement piece that thrives in the shade, consider giving the giant chain fern a try.